if you can convert data to knowledge, you've got the skill set that people need. To me, the data into knowledge means I've got to connect it to something. So you go from information to data to knowledge. This is kind of our path that we think about it as. Information is a dot. It's that individual discrete number. It sits on an Excel sheet. It came in an email. But if I don't know where to categorize it, it's just information. Once I know where to categorize it, that could be for my own brain. I just need to know, is this about my kid? Is this about homework? Is this for a research project? Like, where should I put this number? The number 24 came over, 24 kids, right? So now that I've got it categorized, that's the data. Now it's really a data point. It has some meaning. Knowledge is when I know how to use it. I not only can say it's about my kid, or it's great for a research project, that would be fabulous, and I just kind of walk off. I can see how it applies to me. I can think about manipulating it. I can recall it for later on. So again, why we made the Child Wellbeing Index a score and not just a list of values, because we wanted people to be able to remember it. If we're going to do something like this, if we're going to embark on data analysis, it's got to be usable to people. I've got to introduce you to something new, and then I have to help you connect the dots to how you can use this either personally for your volunteerism, for engaging other people, or even changing the way we look at data together. So that's our real vision on making sure that data can become knowledge. Whether you are at Home Depot, or you're going to be a company, a business analyst, or you're going to be in the nonprofit sector, or you're going to go to the school system, data storytelling is the biggest gap in the future. So you've got to be able to understand enough, maybe develop a tool, like I said, go to a free website, know how to navigate a Tableau page, know how to navigate and require and say what's the Z-score, and then be able to communicate a data story. We have a partnership and an affiliation with Georgia State, so it was easy when somebody called up for me to say, okay, I'll find time on my calendar. Because we really value Georgia State as a partner. We're also really inspired by some of the things the university has done around place. So it says, again, you believe the same thing we believe, that place matters. One of my exciting, most valuable parts of my job is getting people excited about this and saying, yes, I'll use it. Yes, I'll share it. So if I can talk to 100 people this year and each of you goes out and talks to 10 more people, then that's how we create a ripple effect. United Way was looking at a number of different factors, including a recent strategic plan that had just concluded, our investments, and also looking at what was the big issues that we were trying to tackle. Why did we exist? And a lot of those things said, we're working on health, we're working on education, working on income, but some of the big conditions hadn't changed. So that motivated us to put all the different data resources together to create the Child Wellbeing Index. And we wanted something that was available at the neighborhood level. A lot of data that was out there would talk about Georgia as a whole. It would talk about our region as a whole, or maybe a specific county. But as anybody who lives here knows, there's not just one story for Fulton County. There's not just one story for DeKalb County or any of them. And so it's important that the Child Wellbeing Index be able to talk about neighborhoods and go down and tell a story within a county. This, I think, is a great crossover between people who have a lot of statistical background and knowledge. You could do all kinds of rigor. You come up with a score, a p-value, a test of this kind or that kind, and you present it to somebody on the board and you say, see, it's significant. And they kind of look at you frowned. And so data visualization was a huge part of what we knew we wanted to incorporate up front. And over, people actually ask the question, where does it happen? Or could you overlay this? And so again, you could have 100 data points or 100 maps. We wanted one. How could you tell the story and visualize it and make it understandable to the largest, most common denominator of people across the community? So the map and the zip code became critical components in developing the index. I was excited to be invited to talk about data. My biggest takeaway is to really inspire people that might be studying anything, that they can really incorporate data into their work. They can be pioneers in how we use data and use data for storytelling in a new way. So that was my big hope. So I was a little intimidated by the concept of a 24-foot screen. And Brian will attest to the emails I sent saying, okay, give me a better sense, tell me again. I think it is fabulous. It was really fun to present in front of. It was even a neat challenge to try to change my presentation that I usually give to use the wall fully. And I think that came across. And of course, the kind of icing on top was that it's interactive, that it's a touch screen. So that was really, really fabulous.